ACCUPLACER Health Professions Ratios and Proportions. Question 1. A student earns practice scores of 71, 78, 85, and 92. What is the mean score? Option A, 81.5. Option B, 92. Option C, 71. Option D, not enough information. The correct answer is option A, 81.5. The mean is the sum of all scores divided by the number of scores. 326 divided by 4 equals 81.5. The highest score, lowest score, and midpoint of the extremes do not use all four data values correctly. Question 2. A review box contains 6 anatomy cards and 9 math cards. If one card is selected at random, what is the probability that it is an anatomy card for a medical assisting student in an anatomy lab? Option A, 9/15. Option B, 2/5. Option C, 6/9. Option D, 15/6. The correct answer is option B, 2/5. Probability is favorable outcomes divided by total outcomes, so the probability is 6/15, simplified to 2/5. The other choices use the math minus card count, compare anatomy only to math cards, or reverse the fraction. Question 3. To meet a practice goal, a student wants an average of at least 83 after 4 quizzes. If the first 3 scores are 81, 86, and 73, what minimum 4th score is needed for a respiratory therapy student in an anatomy lab? Option A, 91. Option B, 97. Option C, 92. Option D, 80. The correct answer is option C, 92. An average of at least 83 over 4 quizzes requires at least 332 total points. The first 3 scores total 240, so the 4th score must be at least 92. A lower score misses the goal, a higher score is more than the minimum, and the current average does not answer the requirement. Stressed about your ACCUPLACER exam? We can take ACCUPLACER exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. A line on a practice graph passes through 2, 14, and 9, 56. What is the slope of the line? Option A, 42. Option B, 7. Option C, not enough information. Option D, 6. The correct answer is option D, 6. Slope is the change in y divided by the change in x. 56 minus 14, divided by 9 minus 2, equals 6. The other choices use only the vertical change, only the horizontal change, or divide one coordinate pair instead of comparing both points. Question 5. A dosage minus math practice item asks for 9 plus 2 times 5. Using order of operations, what is the value? Option A, 19. Option B, 55. Option C, 23. Option D, 16. The correct answer is option A, 19. Multiplication is performed before addition, so 2 times 5 is calculated first and then 9 is added. The other choices add before multiplying, multiply the wrong numbers, or ignore multiplication entirely. Question 6. A study minus skills report uses the term correlation. Which interpretation best supports accurate statistical reasoning for a surgical technology student in an anatomy lab? Option A. It proves that every individual result will match the group result. Option B. It describes association but does not prove that one variable caused the other. Option C. It means the result cannot change if more data are collected. Option D. It allows conclusions without considering how the data were gathered. The correct answer is option B. It describes association but does not prove that one variable caused the other. The interpretation must match the statistical idea being named. It describes association but does not prove that one variable caused the other. The other choices overstate certainty, ignore sampling limits, or treat a statistic as proof beyond the available data. Question 7. A paragraph explains why students should check units before solving measurement problems. Which title best states the main idea for a phlebotomy student in an anatomy lab? Option A. Why cramming always works. Option B. The history of medical schools. Option C. Unit labels matter in measurement problems. Option D. How to avoid studying entirely. The correct answer is option C. Unit labels matter in measurement problems. The best title must cover the central point of the paragraph rather than a minor or unrelated idea. This title reflects the main focus, while the other choices exaggerate, shift to a different subject, or contradict the message. Question 8. Which sentence uses correct subject minus verb agreement for a physical therapy assistant student in an anatomy lab? Option A. The students in the lab is preparing for the placement test. Option B. The students in the lab prepares for the placement test. Option C. The students in the lab was preparing for the placement test. Option D. The students in the lab are preparing for the placement test. The correct answer is option D. The students in the lab are preparing for the placement test. The subject and verb must agree in number. The correct sentence matches a singular subject with a singular verb or a plural subject with a plural verb, while the other choices use verbs that do not agree with their subjects.
Are you looking for Colorado real estate actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access Colorado Real Estate Study Guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get Colorado Real Estate Answer Key today.
Question 9. Which sentence uses parallel structure for an occupational therapy assistant student in an anatomy lab? Option A. The workshop teaches planning, note minus taking, and problem minus solving. Option B. The workshop teaches planning, note minus taking, and how to solve problems. Option C. The workshop teaches planning, to take notes, and problem minus solving. Option D. The workshop teaches to plan, note minus taking, and problem minus solving. The correct answer is option A. The workshop teaches planning, note minus taking, and problem minus solving. Parallel structure keeps items in a list in the same grammatical form. The correct sentence uses matching forms, while the other choices mix nouns, gerunds, infinitives, or phrases in a way that weakens sentence structure. Question 10. In medical terminology, what does the prefix "tachi minus" usually mean for a health information student in an anatomy lab? Option A. Slow. Option B. Fast. Option C. Below normal. Option D. Around. The correct answer is option B. Fast. The prefix "tachi minus" commonly signals the meaning fast in medical terms. The other choices represent different prefixes or unrelated meanings, so they would change the interpretation of the term. Question 11. Which phrase best describes homeostasis in the human body for a paramedic student in an anatomy lab? Option A. Breaking down food only in the stomach. Option B. Moving bones at a joint. Option C. Maintaining stable internal conditions. Option D. Producing new vocabulary terms. The correct answer is option C. Maintaining stable internal conditions. Homeostasis means keeping internal conditions, such as temperature and fluid balance, within a stable range. The other choices describe digestion, movement, or studying rather than the body's regulation of internal balance. Question 12. During skills practice, which action best supports infection control when hands are visibly soiled for a diagnostic imaging student in an anatomy lab? Option A. Use only a dry towel. Option B. Skip hand hygiene if gloves are worn. Option C. Touch clean supplies first. Option D. Wash with soap and water. The correct answer is option D. Wash with soap and water. Infection control focuses on reducing transfer of microorganisms between people, surfaces, and supplies. The correct action reduces contamination risk, while the other choices increase risk or ignore basic hygiene principles. Question 13. Which statement is written as a testable hypothesis for a patient care technician student in an anatomy lab? Option A. If practice problems include unit labels, then measurement errors will decrease. Option B. Unit labels can be interesting. Option C. The class took a quiz. Option D. Measurement errors are bad. The correct answer is option A. If practice problems include unit labels, then measurement errors will decrease. A testable hypothesis connects a condition or change with a measurable outcome. The correct choice uses an if-then structure that can be investigated, while the other choices are opinions, broad facts, or observations without a testable relationship. Question 14. Which action best shows academic integrity when using a sentence from a source in a study guide for an allied health student in an anatomy lab? Option A. Copy the sentence without credit. Option B. Quote or paraphrase accurately and cite the source as required. Option C. Change one word and call it original. Option D. List no source because it is online. The correct answer is option B. Quote or paraphrase accurately and cite the source as required. Academic integrity means producing honest work and giving credit when using sources or collaboration. The correct action follows that standard, while the other choices involve copying, misrepresentation, or improper sharing. Question 15. A scatterplot shows that as study time increases, practice scores tend to increase. Which description fits the pattern for a health science student in an anatomy lab? Option A. Negative association. Option B. No association. Option C. Positive association. Option D. Causation proved. The correct answer is option C. Positive association. Scatterplot association describes the direction and strength of a pattern between two variables. The correct description matches the trend, while the other choices reverse the direction, ignore the pattern, or incorrectly claim causation. Question 16. A sentence defines a term immediately after a comma. Which reading strategy follows from this direction for a clinical laboratory student in an anatomy lab? Option A. Commas always signal wrong information. Option B. Definitions never appear in sentences. Option C. The term must be unrelated to the definition. Option D. The definition can help identify the term's meaning. The correct answer is option D. The definition can help identify the term's meaning. Reading questions require close attention to wording and evidence. The correct strategy follows the stated direction, while the other choices rely on shortcuts or ignore the text. Question 17. Using context clues, what does the key word in this sentence most likely mean? The results were consistent, with similar scores across several practice tests. For a medical coding student in an anatomy lab? Option A. Showing a steady pattern. Option B. Contradictory. Option C. Impossible. Option D. Unmeasured. The correct answer is option A. Showing a steady pattern. Context clues around the word point to its meaning. The correct meaning fits the rest of the sentence, while the other choices conflict with the clues provided. Question 18. Which word is most nearly the opposite of major for a nutrition student in an anatomy lab? Option A. Important. Option B. Minor. Option C. Central. Option D. Primary. The correct answer is option B. Minor. An antonym means the opposite of the given word. The correct word reverses the meaning, while the other choices are similar to the original word or do not create a true opposite.
Stressed about your FCLE exam? We can take FCLE exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. A health professions student has quiz scores of 79, 82, 85, and 88. What score is needed on a fifth quiz to average 82 for a community health student in an anatomy lab? Option A. 71. Option B. 81. Option C. 76. Option D. 84. The correct answer is option C. 76. An average of 82 over 5 quizzes requires 410 total points. The first 4 scores total 334, so 76 more points are needed. The other choices either use the current average, subtract too little, or add too much. Question 20. A lab measurement is recorded as 12.038 milliliters. Rounded to the nearest tenth, what is the measurement? Option A. 12.04. Option B. 12. Option C. Not enough information. Option D. 12.0. The correct answer is option D. 12.0. Rounding to the nearest tenth keeps one digit after the decimal and uses the hundredths digit to decide whether to round up. The 2 minus decimal choice rounds to the hundredths place, the whole minus number choice rounds too far, and the truncated choice ignores the rounding rule when the next digit requires attention. Question 21. A student earns practice scores of 91, 73, 80, and 87. What is the mean score? Option A, 82.75. Option B, 91. Option C, 73. Option D, 82. The correct answer is option A, 82.75. The mean is the sum of all scores divided by the number of scores. 331 divided by 4 equals 82.75. The highest score, lowest score, and midpoint of the extremes do not use all four data values correctly. Question 22. A review box contains 8 anatomy cards and 5 math cards. If one card is selected at random, what is the probability that it is an anatomy card for a medical assisting student in a math review table? Option A, 5/13. Option B, 8/13. Option C, 8/5. Option D, 13/8. The correct answer is option B, 8/13. Probability is favorable outcomes divided by total outcomes, so the probability is 8/13, simplified to 8/13. The other choices use the math minus card count, compare anatomy only to math cards, or reverse the fraction. Question 23. To meet a practice goal, a student wants an average of at least 83 after 4 quizzes. If the first 3 scores are 83, 88, and 75, what minimum 4th score is needed for a respiratory therapy student in a math review table? Option A, 85. Option B, 91. Option C, 86. Option D, 82. The correct answer is option C, 86. An average of at least 83 over 4 quizzes requires at least 332 total points. The first 3 scores total 246, so the 4th score must be at least 86. A lower score misses the goal, a higher score is more than the minimum, and the current average does not answer the requirement. Question 24. A line on a practice graph passes through 1, 10, and 8, 24. What is the slope of the line? Option A, 14. Option B, 7. Option C, 3. Option D, 2. The correct answer is option D, 2. Slope is the change in y divided by the change in x. 24 minus 10, divided by 8 minus 1, equals 2. The other choices use only the vertical change, only the horizontal change, or divide one coordinate pair instead of comparing both points. Question 25. A dosage minus math practice item asks for 5 plus 2 times 9. Using order of operations, what is the value? Option A, 23. Option B, 63. Option C, 19. Option D, 16. The correct answer is option A, 23. Multiplication is performed before addition, so 2 times 9 is calculated first and then 5 is added. The other choices add before multiplying, multiply the wrong numbers, or ignore multiplication entirely.